Welcome to my channel. Any family or friends that may know me, or my wife personally, or just any current believing Jehovah's Witnesses, welcome. I hope you'll watch the whole video. This is mostly directed to you. I want to assure you that I'm not going to say anything apostate in this video. Just explaining myself a little bit. Should ignore the name of the channel for this video. To my friends and family, I want you to know that I'm still the same person. That I care about you, and I love you, and I miss you very much. And it's hard. This is very difficult. Just being. It's very hard. And I hope that you'll listen to the whole video, because it would be, I would like to know that you might understand why I am here. I know that it hurts you, and I know that you might feel betrayed or regret, or I know that it's hard. It's harder on this end, but I know that it's hard, and I hope that you'll listen and maybe you can understand a little bit more. So why am I here posting videos on YouTube? Why am I not a Jehovah's Witness? It's not for sin. It's not because I wanted to sin. I'm doing everything the same as when I was a witness. I wasn't stumbled by anyone in the hall or in the organization. I'm not angry at anyone or God or whatever. I don't think that I'm weak. I didn't get worn out from the requirements of being a witness. I didn't stop praying or studying. Nope, we'll get to that later. I don't think I'm being selfish. I didn't do this for money. I haven't yet been offered a giant pile of money for leaving the witnesses by Satan or anybody else. It's not greed. And it's not pride, because I can't think of anything more humbling than admitting your whole life has been a lie. That's tough. It's very, very tough. And it's not that I didn't ask for help, because I did. Talked to 5 elders, my dad, my father-in-law, 2 other elders, and a friend. And so if Satan got me, that means that 5 elders, 30 years of being a witness, a Watchtower online library, and the publications going back more than 70 years were not enough to, Satan overpowered all of that. So, wasn't Satan, haven't gained any demonic powers either. So what's the real reason why I'm here? Those are the reasons that are usually listed in the Watchtower publications for why people leave. Jehovah's Witnesses claim to have the truth and to understand the universe and life's big questions. I'm reading from my notes. My audience contact is not that great. Why are we here? Where are we going? Life and death and what it all means. And we would go door to door to tell people about that. We would, as witnesses, call our religion the truth with capital letters. And those people at the door, they thought that they had the truth also. They thought that they had the answers to those questions, but we knew better. We had questions that they hadn't thought to ask. We had evidence that they hadn't seen, information that had been hidden from them by their religious leaders. We knew about the legal actions against their churches and cover-ups for child abuse and other unsavory deeds. We knew the history and the doctrine of their religion and how that showed that it was not from God. What if those things all existed, but about the Jehovah's Witnesses. Would you want to know if you were wrong? Would you want to know if you weren't serving God correctly? Because if those questions have negative answers, then you're not pleasing God in your worship. Would you be brave enough and honest enough to confront that evidence if you were asked? You know, all of the people that we knocked on their doors on Saturday morning, bright and early at 9 a.m., they were confronted with those questions and those evidence, that evidence that we thought we had, if they were willing to listen and didn't shut the door in our face. But they stood there and listened to our take, our truth, and were willing to debate, or at least to listen. There are questions that you haven't asked and information you haven't seen. Paul told the Bereans to search out the scriptures, see if they were right. Truth should not fear questioning. Questions can only make the truth stronger, if it is the truth. Truth is a lion. Let it loose and it will defend itself. Who said that? I don't remember the quote. But there are legal cases that involve the Jehovah's Witnesses that you probably don't know about. Jeffrey Jackson of the governing body testifies under oath. You can watch the video. You can read the transcript from the official government website. He was sworn in on the 2013 New World Translation, swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You can listen to it for yourself and know that it's not apostate lies. You can see him speaking for himself. You can read the transcript to confirm that it is indeed what he said. But you won't read a line, a single word about that court case on jw.org. Are they keeping it from you? Why would they be keeping the testimony of a governing body member from you? Shouldn't you want to see that so that you can follow his example? There are doctrines in early Bible student teachings and early Jehovah's Witness publications that you would absolutely want to know. I didn't know about them. There's literally over 140 years of publications. You can't be aware of all of them, and some of them are very important. They're important to know. And besides all of this, there's questions of history, archaeology, biology, biblical scholarship, the history of the Old and the New Testament. These things I didn't know. Maybe you know them, but I would wager that you don't. All of this and more is why I left. Not any of the reasons you'll see in the Watchtower publications. Just evidence. Verifiable, trustworthy evidence from scholarly sources, and most of it from Watchtower Online Library, from the Watchtower's own publications. I verified all of this. All of the things that were quoted from the Watchtower publications, I verified. They're there. The things that I read are there in print. And that's where my research started, with Watchtower publications. I wanted to be wrong. I wanted my doubts to be wrong. One of the things that was said to me several times, was that I made this choice. You made your choice. Okay. You made your choice. Why would I choose to stop believing what the witnesses believe? Why would I choose to not have my grandmother meet my grandsons? It still hurts to say that. It hurts a lot. When my grandfather said that she would have loved them, I still believed. And I was like, she'll get to see them. Why would I choose not to believe that? Why would I choose not to believe that I would see her again? Why would I choose not to believe that I had the truth? Why would I choose not to believe in this hope for the future? No sane person would make this choice. What possible thing could I be offered where I could flip a switch and say, yep, I don't believe that anymore, and I believe this now? It wasn't a choice to stop believing. I would never choose to lose all of my friends and family. Why would I choose that? Again, what could possibly be offered that would make me choose that? Even if it was possible to just choose to believe something different. As if you can just flip a switch in your head and suddenly believe something different. That's not how things work. It's not possible to do that. The more research that I've done, I have yet to see anything that makes me question my conclusions, to make me question whether or not the witnesses had it right. Everything I have seen has only confirmed that they are wrong. And it's not because, as I was also accused of, that I have sought out people to tell me what I want to hear. Again, why would I want to hear those things? Why would I seek out confirmation that my children will die someday, and that will be the end? That they could get sick, that they could get hit by a bus, that they could die, and there's nothing I could do about it. Why would I want that? When I started questioning, I studied more than I ever have in my life. I read the Watchtower Online Library extensively. I compared Bible translations. I read old witness publications. I read over 24 books. This isn't bragging, just the amount of research I did. Over 24 books on the Bible, history, archaeology, the things I mentioned before. And I have 2 kids. Again, would I choose to believe something that would put my kids at risk? If there was even a tiny bit of doubt in the back of my head that I might be putting my kids' future, their lives, their safety on the line, why would I choose to believe that? And the answer is I didn't choose. The evidence is so convincing that I have to accept this unpleasant reality. And the evidence is so convincing that there does not remain a lingering shred of doubt in me that the witnesses might be right. They aren't. That said, this is going to sound contradictory, but where am I now? I'm very happy. I am happier than I have ever been in my life, and I'm not exaggerating. I feel good. I feel good about myself, which is a first. I have never had good self-esteem. I have never felt good being me. And I do, for the first time. Even accepting my own mortality, even accepting that there isn't a God who's looking out for me, I feel good. I feel hopeful. I feel hopeful for the future. I feel less depressed and less anxious and better self-esteem than I ever have. This is despite losing my friends and my family. This is despite admitting to myself that I spent 30 years in something that I don't believe is true. I feel more forgiving and more empathetic and more caring than I ever did as a believing witness. And I'm not alone in this. I've talked to many ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and they all feel the same. Even as atheists, we are happier and more at peace than when we ever thought that we would live forever. And I know that's basically impossible to believe or even imagine if you're a believing witness, but it's true. And why am I doing this? Why am I on YouTube? Seeing a witness turn on their former faith it hurts. It's a deep, terrible betrayal. I would be compared to Satan himself. Apostate is basically a curse word, so why am I here? Why am I not minding my own business, nice and quiet, not bothering anyone? First, the reasons I'm not here to destroy anyone's faith. Waking up hurts. It hurts a lot. It's a painful, emotional process. It's terrifying. There's deep existential dread, not knowing what to believe about anything anymore. It's this feeling of floating, untethered to anything. It's very, very scary. I don't want followers for myself, except followers on YouTube. But I don't want people to be like, yeah, that guy knows what he's doing. We should listen to what he says. I'm not out to start my own religion or my own cult. Don't care to do that. And I don't want to bring anyone down with me. I am not spiteful. I'm not thinking, I'm going to die and I'm going to take as many witnesses with me as I can. No, that's silly. We used to knock on people's doors because we thought we were helping people. And I've already heard from people that my videos have helped them. And that feels really good. When I was first questioning things, videos on YouTube were immensely helpful. And I want to pay it forward, basically. Now, you might think, like, how is that helpful? Being a witness might be good for you. It might be. I thought it was good for me. And as an analogy, I thought that you might be like thinking that you are blind your entire life, only to find out you're wearing a really big hat and it's just hanging down over your eyes. I haven't been blind this entire time. It's just a big hat. You're not aware of what's being done to you. If you're born into it, this is just the default. This is how life is. I didn't think people could be happy or like themselves. That's not true. That was being a witness. You might disagree with that, but it was for me. Being a witness might be good for some people. It might be, but it does hurt people. It hurt me. It hurt my wife. It hurt my friends. It hurt people I know that were witnesses. It was not good for them. There are a number of people that seriously thought that they would kill themselves. And the only reason they didn't was because they left the witnesses. Some of them still believe, but not being a witness anymore means that they're not suicidal. It does hurt people. You might ask why, and that's something to ask or answer in another video. But the sum of it all is that no one should live in fear of learning or doing research or asking questions. And if you are a witness, the question that you are afraid to ask or have answered is, what are the apostates saying? What are their problems? What are their lies? I don't believe in God, but I don't lie. Not as far as I can help it. Certainly not in things that are important. White lies, maybe, but I don't. If I'm lying, you can try and prove me wrong. I would welcome that because I am trying to be honest. If I am being factually incorrect, I want to correct it. I want to be as accurate as possible. If it's true, if what you believe is true as a witness, nothing should be able to shake your faith. We are at, we think as witnesses, at the very, very end, the final part of the last days, as Stephen Lett put it. If the light gets brighter, it is the brightest now that it has ever been in history. How is it that Satan can so easily destroy your faith with just a few words, just a few questions now? When he couldn't do that in the first century, he couldn't do that to the early Christians. Demons and pagans and apostates are common in the Bible. They were talked to by the disciples and the apostles and Jesus himself. But today, you're told not to even want to know what the apostates are complaining about, not even what they have to say, not even the details, just the general subject is off limits. Why should you be afraid of that? And if it's not true, again, if you believe in God, you're not serving him in the way that he wants. And if there isn't a God, this is the one shot you've got. And personally, I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste any of it. This right here is not a waste. Helping other people to learn the truth about the truth, it's a good use of my time. I'm happy to do it. And if you want to go to the last sanctuary of reasoning, which I also heard from the elders, is, well, even if it's not true, it's the best way of living. How would you know? How would you know if you haven't asked the people who have left why? What made them leave? If this is the best way, then why would people leave? Why do they leave in droves? The retention rate for the witnesses is, or the rate of people leaving is like 66%. It's very high. Why are they all leaving? It's the best, if it's the best way of living. And if that's the only wager why you're in, that's a really weak reason to give someone such deep and wide control over aspects of your life and tell you not to research outside of it. What if there's a better way of living? What if they're wrong about things and they're just telling you to do stuff for arbitrary reasons? Why listen? If that's the best defense that you've got, there's no reason to not do further research. And I welcome you to do that. Hopefully, some of the videos on here are helpful. If not, there's a great number of other resources that you can do to do your own research. And again, the vast majority of it, Watchtower's own publications. I welcome you and I encourage you to do that research. It's fine out here. It's not scary. I don't think I'm scary. Anyway, I hope you watched to the end. If you're someone I know personally, I'm good. I'm really, really good. I promise. I am very happy. The kids are doing great. My wife is doing good. We're very happy. And we are never coming back. Once you realize something isn't true, if I teach you that 2 + 2 is not 5, it is in fact 4, you can never go back to believing it's 5 because it's not true. It just isn't true. There's nothing that can be done to make that different. You were wrong. The truth is something else, and that's where I'm at. I can never go back because it is not true. So, if you want to spend time with me, if you want to spend time with my kids, if you want to spend time with my wife, don't wait for me. It's a sad thing to say, but don't wait. Move on as best you can. It's a very sad thing to say. Move on as best you can, or, come hang out with me. I'd be happy to talk to you. I'm not shunning you, I promise. I'd be happy to hear from you. I'd be happy to talk. So that's all I've got. And welcome to the channel.